days it'll work.
Yes, indeed, we can go.
Okay. Engage.
Okay, so on Sunday we have nothing. That's very easy. On Monday we have the card wholesale sales month-over-month. So major bearish. Let's see the speech by Kuroda and then by Kent.
Yep.
So due to speak at the International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C., let's forget. And Kent, due to deliver a speech titled The Committed Liquidity Facility at the Bloomberg Address, no, let's forget. I will monitor the German Bundesbank monthly report. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Maybe interesting to see if they will mention the difficulties the Deutsche Bank is facing. So
sure. And
Tuesday.
there's only 38 news this week. There's news items total this week as well. So another quiet week.
Okay. On Tuesday we have. Let's see. I will monitor the Yen Bank of Japan Core CPI year over year, because there was an expectation, despite the fact that it is a year over year decrease in the inflation. So monitor and bearish.
Oh, okay.
Then monitor for those who trade bonds the 10-year bond auction on the pound. Then we will have the NZD, the Kiwi trade balance, so major higher time frames bearish, and that's all.
Okay, scroll down.
On Wednesday, we will have. I will monitor the Euro-German flash manufacturing PMI and neutral.
Manufacturing flash.
Yes, flash manufacturing.
Yep.
PMI. Then I will also monitor the Euro flash manufacturing PMI.
Ah, sorry, I got the wrong one. There's too many of
them. No,
them.
not the French. Yep. The German.
Bloody French.
And then the Euro flash manufacturing PMI. So for Germany, neutral, and for Euro, neutral too. The Euro M3 money supply year over year, major higher time frames bearish. Hello, Abraham. Welcome.
Hey, Then
we will have, I will monitor the US dollar flash manufacturing PMI, and neutral. Then monitor the crude oil inventories, of course, and let's see the speed by low.
Hang on. Yeah, back on the US, which one are you watching? Flash service.
Manufacturing PMI.
There is no PMI in that. Oh, yes, there is. Sorry, I'm on two screens and one of them's sort of cut off. Okay, monitor. The PMI doesn't line up on the other screen.
And, and neutral, Chris.
Yes. Okay.
And let's see the speech by low.
Okay.
Due to deliver a speech titled Inflation, Targeting and Economic Welfare at the Annika Foundation Luncheon in Sydney. Let's forget. The only Annika I appreciate is Annika Hansen.
Okay.
Why do you laugh, Chris? Do you know?
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Annika Hansen?
No.
It's 7 of 9 in Star Trek Voyager.
Oh. I was going to say, the only woman you ever talk about is 7 of 9. So. Right, guys, this has been going on for 10 years now.
Thursday,
Right.
let's be more serious now. Thursday, we will have, so the Euro-German E4 business climate to monitor and neutral. Then a big one in red. So the Euro main refinancing rate, so major plus higher time frames and neutral, and then also major plus higher time frame for the monetary policy statement, and then the ECB press conference with Draghi. Then we will have for the US dollar the core durable goods orders month over month, major and a bit bearish. Then we will have the durable goods orders month over month and bullish.
Hang on, this is messing me up.
Yeah.
Do it again. Sorry.
So the core durable goods order major
Okay. Yep.
and bearish.
Yep.
And the durable goods order major and I don't see the numbers, Chris. I think it's bullish.
Okay. Hang on. Right.
Yes, bullish.
Okay.
And then we have to monitor the natural gas storage. So.
Okay.
And so in the context of the last declaration by Kuroda of the Bank of Japan, I will monitor the yen Tokyo core CPI year over year. So monitor and bearish.
Okay.
So that's it for Thursday, and for Friday we don't have a lot of things. We have the US dollar advanced GDP quarter over quarter, major higher time frames, and bearish. Wow. Big bearish. So it would be interesting to see if the market anticipate this. Because if the market anticipate a weakening of the US dollar, for the news release, don't expect a large movement. So. And also the advanced GDP price index quarter over quarter, major higher time frames, and bullish. This is the opposite. So this is contrarian.
Okay. And
okay.
There's also something that's missing here, Eusebio. And on Tuesday, Britain has their voting.
Yes, this is something I had to mention with the general comments at the top of the calendar.
Right. Okay.
There are two elements to consider.
Well, okay, we need to find a time for that to come out. Okay, so I'll bring up the list. You tell me, and then I'll modify this later.
Yeah. Okay. So indeed, Tuesday we will have the vote for the successor of Prime Minister May. So between Boris Johnson and James Hunt. So
Yep.
we have to pay attention because the consequence may be different depending who will be elected. So who will be nominated. So.
Sounds like Johnson will be. So
the favorite is Johnson, indeed, but we never know.
39-1 against the other guy,
Yeah.
Eusebio.
Yeah, but remember what has happened with Trump in USA. So,
But Johnson is Trump in Britain.
yeah, I know.
Anyway, yep.
So expect some big movements on the pound that day. So as soon as we will have some indications of on who will be elected. And the second point is the situation in Iran. The situation seems to be escalating now with the UK, and so we have to pay attention to this situation. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's not good. Okay, I'll change that there. I'll put this to escalating.
Yeah.
And, yep, I'll add the PM vote up here. If we have a look at the calendar, let's have a look at the calendar. So this is the, come on, okay, it's come up. So this week, and it's kind of strange, but the date on the calendar is incorrect. I mean, this is British Parliament, and they can't even get a calendar right. It's Tariq is saying something. How will the selection? Yes, it will, Tariq.
In fact, it depends how the big boys will react, and so if they still bet on a hard Brexit, so if Johnson is the successor of May, this should be good for the pound. If Hunt is nominated, so this should be bad for the pound, because Boris Johnson is for the Brexit, even a no-deal Brexit, and Hunt is for a deal Brexit, a soft Brexit. So, but we don't know if the big boys have changed their mind or not. So we have just to observe. As soon as we have some information, so you can see how the market will react. So, but don't try to necessarily anticipate. Okay.
Okay. This day.
You will not find that information in the Parliament website, Chris, because it is not a Parliament vote. It is a vote internal to the party.
Sure. But I thought they might have something like...
No.
Some timing on it. Okay. No, there's just the oral thing that came up here to be aware of. Select committee, just general discussion, and it could be on a Thursday or on a Wednesday, because they really mess up their dates here. Okay, so that hasn't helped at all. Okay, so I'll sort out something for that. And okay, carrying on with this, then we have here, oh sorry, haven't done the incantation. The reason that we go through the NewsWatch is to pick out the news items that are likely to impact you while you're trading. Hasn't been that impactful lately, and there's not that much in the way of news this week. But if you're trading up here, and there's news coming up, and there's one that's marked as major, okay, major items likely to impact anything up to the 4-hour point, but not including. So if there's news coming up, get out of the trade within half an hour of the news coming out, and don't place any orders 1 hour prior. If you're trading H4s and above, then those rules apply to the pairs you're trading. The euro, the US, and the yen, these guys here, and the euro, are very important. So any major news coming up on those ones are likely to impact all pairs, even if those currencies are not in those pairs. So treat them as if the news is coming out on those ones. If there's news coming up on a smaller one, like for instance the Kiwi, and you're in, for instance, the euro dollar or something like that, then it probably won't impact the euro US dollar, but still be aware of it. So you don't need to get out of the trade if there's Kiwi news coming up, if you're in one of the three big ones, but still be aware of it, because I have seen news come up on the Kiwi that made all the pairs jump because it was such a surprise, and it was a reasonable jump as well. And the reason that we want you out of the trades, or at least very safe, is that when they jump, they can impact your account. Not the profits, but your actual hardcore cash, which you've saved up to put into the account. Okay, the pound sort of sits in between them. So if there's big news coming up on the pound, something that's really important, for instance, the vote, which we don't know when it's coming up, it could impact all the pairs. If it's not quite so large, and we don't have, are there any news coming up here no, there's not really all that much in the way of news coming up on the pound this week. Then you can treat it like a smaller pair. Okay, What else? Okay, I think that should do it. And the pairs, the top 10 pairs this week, it's dwindling. The largest range is still the same as it was last week, 832, but there's less of them. So there's only 7 this week that are above $600, whereas last week there was 9. And okay, and what else? Okay, so what I've done is I've pulled these out, and what Eusebio will do now is magic trick where he matches these up against the news that's coming out so that we get the picks on a daily basis rather than overall for the week. But it's all yours, Eusebio.
Okay, let's start. So you have taken the list from the pound kiwi to the euro kiwi. Oh, that's good. That's perfect. You are becoming good at that, Chris.
Yeah, copy and paste is my thing, Eusebio.
Okay, on Monday we have
CAD.
the CAD. We have the CAD. Okay.
That's it.
And that's it. So the first choice will be the pound CAD.
Yep.
Then we can take the pound kiwi or pound Aussie.
Yep.
And then the pound Swiss.
Okay. Tuesday, we have no leftovers from Monday, late Monday.
Okay.
And we have nothing. Maybe
Nothing.
the kiwi later in the day, yeah.
Yeah, but it will have an influence for the next day.
Yep.
So for Tuesday, we will have the pound kiwi or pound Aussie.
Yep.
Then the pound Swiss, and then the pound CAD.
Okay. And for Tuesday, we have the kiwi,
So we have the kiwi here, okay.
the euro,
We have the euro, okay.
and that's it.
And that's it. Okay, so the first choice will be the euro kiwi. Then the pound kiwi or pound Aussie. And then the pound Swiss.
Okay. And Thursday, we have
On Thursday.
nothing left over from Wednesday.
Okay.
And we've got the euro, big red,
We have the euro, okay.
and the USD.
The USD, okay. And that's it. So the first choice will be, let's see, the pound US dollar or euro kiwi. Pound US dollar or euro kiwi. Then we will have the pound kiwi or pound Aussie.
Yep.
And then the pound Swiss.
Hang on. This is for Thursday. I just messed up. Hang on.
Ah.
So I want to copy that and want to go backwards. I might have to
So for
watch the
Wednesday,
video.
let's check. On Wednesday we had the euro kiwi, then the
Yep.
pound kiwi or pound Aussie, and then the pound Swiss.
Okay. Thanks. And Thursday we have
Thursday, so we have the pound US dollar or euro kiwi,
staff these days.
euro
Can't
kiwi.
trust. Yep.
Then the pound kiwi or pound Aussie,
Yep.
and then the pound Swiss.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
No
And
problem.
for Friday,
And for Friday,
we have no leftovers from Thursday.
okay,
And what I mean by leftovers, in case anybody's trying to figure us out, is the markets close at 5 p.m. And sometimes this news comes out after 5 p.m. and there's no majors in this area after 5 p.m. So there's no news left over on Thursday. For Friday, and Friday we have the US dollar.
okay. So for Friday we will have the pound US dollar, And because we have something about the yen, I would say pound US dollar or pound yen. Then we will have the pound Kiwi or pound Aussie.
Bit of a boring week.
And then the pound Swiss. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you can monitor, the reason for doing this is you can monitor the whole week's 7 if you want all at once, if you can handle it, or to chop down the amount of work that you have to do on a daily basis. Just pick generally these top pairs here first, and if there's not much moving here, drop down to the bottom selection, the less likely ones to move. Okay, there's no guarantees on this too, in case somebody wants to come back at us. We're doing our best with what we have, and if there's any questions, we'd be pleased to answer them, but I'm going to move off here now. I'll save this. But the ranges are getting so tiny these days, it's just abysmal. Still waiting for this to freeze. Okay, done. And okay, coming back over here, let's just go quickly back through this. Okay, for the major items, Brexit plus the PM vote, Iran is escalating. Anything else down here, Eusebio?
No, not for the moment.
How about Italy with the new Prime Minister? Is he good or bad?
I have no idea for the moment, Chris.
Okay. And ongoing.
No, it's not Italy. It's in Greece.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Prime Minister. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing will change for Greece with the new Prime Minister. Nothing will change.
Okay. Yeah, it seems to slip back into their old ways. Yeah. And okay. And no more about German's banking system apart from Deutsche Bank, I guess.
No, we still have to watch the situation. So.
Okay. I'll put Deutsche Bank in brackets there. So what's the issue with Deutsche Bank, Eusebio?
The issue with Deutsche Bank is Deutsche Bank has made huge losses, so they are firing 1/3 or 1/5 of their employees, and so this indicates that the Deutsche Bank is extremely weak, and because it is one of the most important banks around the world, if Deutsche Bank must face more problems, it will be a domino effect. So if Deutsche Bank has really big problems, many other banks will have also problems. So.
Okay. I see also that they're pulling out of the States.
Yeah.
And they had a banking test the other day and they passed it okay.
Yeah, but passing a stress test, a bank stress test is not enough. So, for example, they have made big losses, so they may be short of money. And if they have to pay other banks or to repay other banks some loans, for example, and they cannot pay for them, so you will see a cascade of problems because each bank have to pay loans to other banks. And so they are all interlinked with loans, with borrowings, and so on. And so we may have a cascade, so a domino effect.
Too.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, the way this system is set up, we have to have crashes.
Yeah, a crash has the virtue to clean up sometimes messing situations. So, Robert, indeed, Deutsche Bank was one of the biggest bank, and so, but the problem with these big banks, and it is not only the Deutsche Bank, but it is also with HSBC, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and so on. So all the top banks, they are heavily engaged in speculation positions, too much engaged. And so this is the origin of their problems. So And so once the liquidation will begin, so problems will appear. So.
Yep. Oh, one of the simplistic things is, here in New Zealand, our banks are not allowed to trade. So the global crisis didn't impact us as much as a result of that. And then I think in the States, similar rules were brought in, which Trump promptly sort of abolished as soon as he got in. So I don't know if the banks did become protected and now they're sort of back open to the impacts of another crash like that based on poor investments. But
yeah, that's always the problem when a bank is authorized to create speculative position. In many countries, there is a distinction between a saving bank and a commercial bank. So the commercial bank is authorized to make speculative operation. A saving bank is not authorized. And so in some countries, there is a strict distinction between these two types of bank. The problems come when one bank can have the two aspects, in fact, because they speculate with which money, in fact, if you think about that. If a bank is authorized also to make speculation, with which money they speculate.
But it's all sitting here not doing anything, you say. We've got to use it.
They speculate with the
we trust us.
Yeah. So
sorry. Yep.
And if you analyze the history of the stock exchanges over the last 100 years, you will see always the same pattern. As soon as a bank begins to speculate and speculate too much, problems will come and a crash will come.
Okay, so let's get down to tin tacks. Does anybody else have any questions? Because we're going to launch into the charts now. So, first question up.